Hello everyone and good morning. I am about to start some seeds today and I have a little update for you about some seeds that I have already started as a experiment and I want to show you guys the progress. So we are going to sow some pansy seeds today. I have started my pansies in the past in January and they did great, and I was in a warmer zone in New York City as well. I have moved. We are now on zone 6B, 7A in Rockland County, which is in the lower Hudson Valley. We're still close to New York City, just an hour away, but now we're a bit colder up here. But even though we are colder, I'd like to start them earlier because I like to put them out in the garden when they are already blooming. And I want to encourage them to have more blooms, so I want to kind of keep cutting it down as soon as they start sending their flower buds up to kind of make them nice and bushy. And pansies are great because they're very cold tolerant, and they brought me so much joy last year when they were blooming and I was ready to plant them out in the garden. I planted some on my green stock, the new basket weave one at the time, and the colors on that one were so pretty. I really wanted to grow them again, so I still have the original seed packs for those. Those are the Nature Antique shades. I tried saving some seeds from it, but then I just realized that they're trademarked and I'm not supposed to save seeds, so I'm not going to use them so I don't get in trouble since I know I'm publicly share about my garden here on YouTube. We're going to stick to the packages that I have previously bought. And I also have one called Brush Strokes. This one I also grew last year. I also loved it, but I really like this Nature Shades better. We're going to start both since I still have the seeds. And I still have another one that I really like from Hudson Valley Seed Company. It's a great package, has a very nice message inside of it too for equity. So we're going to plant this because this has bigger blooms and a variety of colors. So I want to tuck this around the garden as well. So we're going to start those three. And for the seed experiment I talked about, I had some old seeds that I wanted to see if they would germinate, seeds that I haven't even started in the past gardens because I didn't have space. And the good news are, I'm gonna show you this little upcycled clamshell container that I tried to start them with. We have some babies. So originally I was going to do the pansies as my first flower seeds for 2025, but these guys germinated. So these were the first ones, even though they were an experiment. I really thought they were not going to do anything, especially those two cells here, which have Lisianthus. I'll show you a little closer. They have very tiny seedlings that I'm not sure if the camera is picking up right now. And they were in pelleted seeds, so I thought they were not going to germinate because usually when you buy pelleted seeds, they say that that decreases the shelf life of the seed or the viability of the seed tremendously. So it's recommended that you use in 1 year. And I bought this when I wanted to grow the flowers for my wedding. So probably in 2022 because I started those so early in January and they still germinated. So I'm very happy about that. I almost considered buying some plugs of Lisianthus this year because they can be hard to start, but they just decided to come up for me. So we're gonna try to nurture these guys and make sure that they make it all the way into spring and we can plant them out when it's the right time. And this over here are actually some older seeds I got from Floret. These ones were Foxgloves that I got a long time ago too, never planted them in the garden. And I just sprinkled the seeds in here and they almost all germinated. I still see some seeds in there, but most of them just became these cute little babies and I have lots of them. So this one is a variety called Alba and it is a biannual. So it's supposed to flower on its second year. But now that I have started them so early, I'm gonna try to cheat their life cycle a bit, if that makes sense. I'm going to transfer this to bigger cells and let them grow inside. And I'm going to try to slowly acclimate them through the winter and then just put them out during the day and back in during the night so they think they're going to fall or something. And then I read that they need 60 days of cold temperatures to trigger flowering. So when it's about 60 days or 2 months before our last frost date, I'll try to transplant them, which I believe is going to be about the same time I'm going to transplant my cool flowers, because those also need to be planted out about 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost date, and 8 weeks is 60 days. So anyway, hopefully that works. You guys stay tuned and you will see that happen once time goes by. So that's the story of this little clamshell with seeds that I thought were not going to germinate, and they actually did. So the only one that did not was this layer here in the middle that had delphinium seeds, and those didn't germinate. So those are officially too old. And just so you know, when I started this, December 2nd. So today is the, I don't even know, 17th, I think. So 2 weeks ago. Now it's time to start the seeds. The first thing I always do is to label. I'm going to make my labels. So I'm just going to write here. And I'm going to see how many seeds I have on my pack over here. I want to grow all of these ones in nature shades because these were my favorite ones. Oh, there's not as many. I don't know if you guys can see through the paper, but there's not as many seeds as I expected. So let me count them real quick. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I've got 15 seeds in here. And I'm going to sow 1 per cell. I'm probably going to do 12 in here, and then the other ones is 3 together with another mix. Just kind of make little holes in here. Pansies, I believe they like to germinate, so we're going to cover them very, very lightly. And I'm only adding 1 seed per cell and hoping that I have 100% germination on these. Here on the seed pack it says to just cover lightly. Usually the grow instructions are in the seed pack. If you're new to this, oops, I got 2 in there, nope. Oops, actually I see 1 more in here. Okay. And then I'm gonna put 2 of the brush strokes. I'm trying to put them in the middle, so if they fall to the side, I'm just going to gently move them. Okay, the next, wait, I did the wrong tag. I had brush strokes in there, oops, so that's brush strokes. This one's nature shades, the one we just did. We're about to do this here. I still have a few seeds left. I'm gonna save it in case I want to do a second sowing. So some of the brush strokes are gonna go back into the package. Okay, so last but not least, we're gonna do the pansy mix. All right, this one's I'm gonna put 2 because I have lots of seeds of it too. The last step in this will be just to cover them lightly, so just going with my hands, lightly cover, not maybe barely covering, and pressing just so they have some contact with the soil. All right, now that they're all covered, I'm going to mist from the top. Move that to the side. You see here that I still have a whole section that's empty, and I'm gonna attempt to transplant some of these delphinium, sorry, not delphinium, I keep saying delphinium, foxgloves in here and see how they do, and I'll fill another one to do the rest, but I just want to show you guys how I do it. And just full disclosure, this is my first time doing this, but they look very similar to snapdragon seedlings, and I do that with snapdragon, so hopefully this is going to work out for them too. And since I'm working with seedlings this time, not just seeds, I'm going to already get this soil wet. And to separate this, I'm going to come with a little chopstick in here, or use whatever it's a little pointy, and I'm going to pull it up, trying to not disturb too much. I'm going to grab this little piece, put it in my hand, and I'm going to gently separate them. Try my best to not disturb the roots. So I'm taking them apart, and I'm going to lay them over here. Oh, actually, sorry. Before I do that, I should this time really have to poke a hole, because they already have a bit of longer roots, and then you want to make sure that you bury them good when you're doing this. Right, now I'm gonna get the seedlings, and first I'm just going to lay them on top of the cell so I can count, and after I will bury them. one thing at a time because they're delicate and I want to pay attention on what I'm doing. And with snapdragons, at least, it's easier to do them when they're very small like this. I've read that they have less root disturbance, or they feel less stressed if they are transplanted at this stage before really they get their first true leaves. If you guys know anything about it, let me know. But that's my understanding. So just this little clump here that I got, already is gonna have bunch of cells taken. Okay, now I'm just going to gently try to press them. I'll get this little chopstick and try to place the root in the hole. Gently, you don't want to break the root. You're just kind of gently tugging it in or pushing it down. And we only want this much to be out, this little bit, at least for snapdragons. Again, I'm gonna just trust my guts and try to do the same thing with them and just hope for the best. But I'm going to bury most of the stem and then just leave a little baby out there, baby leaves. Now it's time to mist them with some water, a little bit more. We're going to head to my grow room and I will show you how I set up my grow light rack this year. Okay, so here's my grow light set up. Now a little laundry room that we don't have a laundry machine yet, or dryer. We decided not to buy it for this winter. So I put my setup in here. Also my green stock I moved from the garage to here, and I have already put the seeds in here so I could just bring the camera in. But these are the seeds that we just started right now. And I'm going to add a dome for them, humidity dome. Here we go. And I have this tray here sitting on a heat mat. This is the one I have. I got it on Amazon. I only have one, and that will help germinate a little faster. I had this little tray here with the Lisianthus and Foxglove, etc. in this heating mat for maybe just 1 week. It first started just by the lights in here. And I only have the top light on right now because I only need that. When I set up my grow rack also, I like to put different heights for the shelf. So I always got the closest to one on the top where I first start my seeds. And once they start growing, they start moving down. And then I have space again to start another batch. So I don't plan to start anything till January. Hopefully, if I do and change my mind, I'll let you guys know. And I have a couple other things here as well. I have some rose cuttings that I'm trying to keep it into the spring till it's time to plant. I had a bunch more, but unfortunately they died when I potted them up. They started getting brown. The stem is happening to this one too. Let's see if I can show you guys. Unfortunately, and the leaves on these ones, they had leaves, it just dried. So it looks like I might only have 1 or 2. I think I started with like 8 from my friend Chris that gave me some cuttings. So we'll see if I can keep those 2 alive. And that's it for this video. So if you have any questions about anything, please let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you next time.